Deborah with Deborah Bucher Designs, and I come live every Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesdays, it's furniture art design, and on Wednesdays, it's crafting. And so we've got a really fun craft project to do today. Hi, Sue. So you guys, thanks for coming on. This is what we're going to do. I posted the picture of it. I don't know if you saw it, but I love these wooden tags. And I bought this one at Christmas time. I bought a whole bunch of them, and the ones that I bought at Christmas time, I painted, hi Sue, I painted the back of them with Midnight Sky, which is like a black. You can use any of the Dixie Belle chalk paints will make a chalkboard, but these were really good for displays and just writing chalk on them, and they turned out really cute. Well, I have a bunch of them left, and I saw these tags for the 4th of July, and I thought that would be really fun to do. So I painted both sides, so you can't even tell it had Christmas on this side. And this is the back side of it, and this is the side that we'll be working on today. So I have 2 of them ready to go, but I'm going to demonstrate to you how to make this one look like those. And then I have a fun reusable stencil, and I know this is backwards, but trust me, it's 1776 for one of them. And then the Betsy Ross flag. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you. And so we'll put this will go on one tag, this will go on the other one, and then we're gonna just do flag stripes on the 3rd one. So I'm gonna put the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so this is the back side of that one, front side. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to, what I did is I used some chocolate, Dixie Belle chocolate chalk paint. I'm going to take this ribbon off. I might want it for some other hanger. And this is really fast to do. I was tempted just to, what did I do with my, oh, here they are. I was tempted just to get them all 3 done, but I thought, no, I need to show you guys how to do this so you can see how simple it is. So I'm just using some chocolate paint and a chip brush. Chip brushes are really great for this project. I never throw them away. And this will give you that barnwood look that we're going for. We don't want it to be perfect. We want it to be perfectly imperfect. Takes very little paint to do this. And then I'm gonna get the heat gun, give it a dry. Hi, Sue. thanks for joining us. I got paint all over my hands, so I'm gonna get that off. Okay, and just using the same brush, I'm going to use pine cone. And I use in the brown family, I use coffee bean, pine cone, and chocolate a lot. Because like when I'm doing a furniture top and it needs to be painted, that gives me a really good selection of browns to get a natural wood top before I add stain to it. And I'm gonna just wipe back a little bit. And just starting at the top here and just dragging it down. Doesn't need to be perfect. We want it to be looking like it's old barnwood. So I have very little paint on my brush, and then I'm kind of wiping the majority of that off, and then I like to start at one end and come up with it. Just a little bit more. I think that looks good. So I'll just close these up, and I'm just gonna scoot that over to the side to dry. So we actually had some rain here in Arizona. I woke up to rain this morning. It was just wonderful. Now, this is Voodoo Gel Stain, and it comes in like 8 different colors, and I love using it. It's really easy to work with. And for this project, I already have a squirt of it that I used on the other 2 boards. So I'm just going to it just gives it a little more dimension. It's just, what you're doing is just kind of building up your different colors, because when you look at wood, it's not just one shade of brown. And I'm using a 1-inch chip brush to do this. And that's all we need to do. That piece of wood is ready to get decorated. But I'm just gonna set it aside and let it dry. And the next one we're going to do is going to be the one that's going to be the 1776. Just trying to move these things out of the way. Okay, and for that one, I'm going to use some fluff. Dixie Belle fluff is a nice white. Well, that's looking pretty gross. I have probably 4 different jars of fluff opened. Just gonna get rid of that mess. And because I'm using fluff, I'm gonna switch brushes here. Now the best thing to do with your chip brushes is when you open a brand new one to just wash them with soap and water. And then that gets most of the loose bristles, because you get a lot of bristles with the chip brushes. But I really like the finish that you get when you use a chip brush when you're trying to get a rustic woody look to it. So I'm just going to put a little bit of paint on my brush, not a whole lot. And then I'm going to wipe it off on my paper towel here. Make sure you guys are in camera. Okay, and then I don't want to cover this whole thing in the white. So I'm kind of like just dry brushing on it, and I'm going to build the color up on it. So the magic doesn't happen all at one time. And you want lighter and darker spots on it. It needs to just look like it's been weathered and worn out. I like how we have that white stripe going through there. See if I can get a little more of that kind of effect. And then when these are tied, I have some twine that would be cool with these, or I also, in my stash of ribbons, have some really pretty 4th of July Star Spangled Banner kind of ribbon that would be cool. Hi Elisa, thanks for joining us. Okay, so we've got this one ready to go, and I'm just going to again give it a quick little dry. It's perfectly imperfect. All right, so you guys have seen me using these stencils quite a bit lately on these crafting projects, and we're going to do it again. So I'm just going to cut this stencil in half, because on this little board we're going to do the 1776. They have a grid like contact paper on the back side that makes it, and you can see through it, so I can follow those grid lines and not cut into my design. And I'm going to trim it down. Well, that 6 goes. What's cool about this, that I really liked about this 1776, is the 1 is small, the 7s are larger, and then the 6 comes way up here. I just thought it looked pretty darn cool. Okay, so these stencils are available if you'd like to repeat one of these. I ordered some of these wood tags on Amazon today. And you have to order them in pretty large quantity, and they aren't shipping real fast. But if you guys want some, you can either go on Amazon and order your own, or I'll have some on my website for sale. And you can go to the Dollar Tree. I don't know, the last time I was there, I didn't see tags like this because I do kind of watch for them, but that's another alternative. And if you want to do this stencil, it'll be on my website also. It's $5 for the two of them. And so what we want to do, I'm going to trim off that bottom a little bit more just to make it easier to get my placement exactly where I want it. That 6 goes up there and the 7s are down a little bit lower, and I just want to be sure I get it placed on here how I want it. Okay, so then once you get it down, the paper that's on the top of it here is called transfer, and what it does is it allows you to transfer the stencil onto your piece. And so I'm just burnishing it down with my fingers. I've done so much burnishing lately that I'm not going to have any fingertips left. I just want to get it down really, really well. I like using these because you seldom, I mean really seldom, ever have any bleed through, and that's why I like using these. What I'm trying to do is separate the transfer from the vinyl at a corner. Maybe this corner will work better. Yep, that one's better. So when you take your transfer paper off, you don't want to pull it straight up like this. You want to pull it off at a 45-degree angle, and that way it's not lifting up the vinyl stencil. That stays firmly attached to your piece. And if you see it lifting up, just burnish it back down again, because that's important that this stays firmly attached to your piece. I like this piece already. I love those numbers. So what kind of crafting projects do you guys like to do? I'd be really interested in knowing, because that's what this Wednesday class is crafting. And I'd really like to know what you guys enjoy doing, or what you would like to learn how to do. You're a quiet bunch. Okay, so for my lettering, I'm going to use, because this is matching a bunch of other pieces that I've already completed. I have a flag chair. I have a milk can. I have a star, a really pretty like wooden barn star. You want to see some work with molds and clay? Okay, I'll do that for the next one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm using Bunker Hill Blue because that's what I've used on, actually, this is Bunker Hill Blue. I want to use the In the Navy Blue on the sign. So I'm going to close that back up because I'll think it's closed and I'll go give it a shake. Hi, Pamela. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Joan. I was just asking everybody if there's some craft projects that you are interested in learning how to do. And Mary said she was interested in the molds. Molds and clay. Mary, wasn't that the first class that you took with me? Was the pumpkin class? This jar was really hard to open. Okay, so it's not going to take much paint to do this, and that's always important to keep in mind. So I'm dipping my brush in, have a little bit on the tip. I'm just going to offload it onto my piece, just taking the really wet stuff and make sure that my letters are all down nice. And I'm just gonna put it on there. And I'm using In the Navy, but you could use black, you could use Midnight Sky, you could even use a dark gray, you know, just whatever you have in your paint stash. Same with the browns, whatever you already have in your paint stash. And then I'm going to make sure this is down good. All my little points and edges. Do the same thing over here. You don't want to rub it. Just think about where your edges are. And we're going to put one coat on. We've created texture on this board when we were giving it that wood look. And see how I'm offloading every time, and I can always go back and pick up that paint again. And I'm kind of doing a pouncing motion because there is texture on here and I don't want it running underneath. So when I'm done with these, since I didn't grab my twine or the ribbon that I have, I'll decide which one I like best, whether it's the twine or the ribbon, and get these staged so you guys can see what they look like finished all together. This is a project you could do with your kids too. Okay, so I want to give it a second coat, but I want to just dry this real quick. Hey, Callie, thanks for joining us. I used to live in Chicago. I lived all over Chicago and Downers Grove and Rockford, New Milford, Round Lake. Okay, we're just going to repeat. This In the Navy is a really pretty color. It's really gorgeous on furniture pieces. The very first piece of furniture I ever painted was with In the Navy, and I was so impressed with it that the next week I called up Dixie Belle and said, what do I need to do to sell your paint? You can see how fast and easy a project this is. Well, I'm glad you're here. In the beginning, I'll show you what I showed everybody else because I want this to just sit and dry for a second. So what this is not that one, maybe it's this one. Yep, okay. So I have these tags, that's what they're called. And this one came from the dollar store. I picked up a bunch of them before Christmas, obviously. And this had glitter all over it. I just sanded the glitter off and painted both sides. And we're making tags out of them for the 4th of July. I have some of these on order, and you guys can just shop around and see if you can find them. I'll have some probably in about 10 days. I'm not going to dry this completely. I just want to take the wet off. I like to take this off when it's still, the paint is still damp. Now that's dark enough that you might think it's black, but it's actually navy blue. And I think that's very cool. I really, really like it. Give me some hearts, you guys, if you think it's pretty cool too. Okay, so that's one of our tags. The next tag is going to be the Betsy Ross flag. And so to do that one, I'm going to just use the same brush, and I just want, well, no, I'm not going to use the same brush. I want to get some In the Navy, well, Bunker Hill blue is what I want on this one. Because I want to tie in all the colors that I've used on all the accessory pieces. And I've used a lot of Bunker Hill, Barn Red, and Fluff on the other pieces. And if you guys have taken any of those classes or projects, then you don't need to go buy any new paint or supplies because you've got it. So I'm just going to wipe off this chip brush. Actually, I'm going to use this one. Dip into the Bunker Hill blue, which is such a pretty blue. And then again, I'm going to wipe wipe it back. Let me make sure you guys can see that in the camera. Yep, okay. I'm gonna wipe it back because I don't want it fully loaded. And this time, I'm only concerned with the center of it because that's where the stars are gonna go. I want the barn board to still show on here. My dog's laying down here on the floor, and I think he is curious to know why I talk to myself all the time. Hi, Patricia. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I think that's enough. And then we're going to repeat the same process. We're going to put the stars down on it. And I'm going to trim this up a little bit, again, just so I can get it centered on our little board the way I want it. Okay, and then, like before, it has a grid on the back like contact paper, and that's what we want to start pulling off first. And when I sell these stencils, you guys, I label it so that you know what is the transfer paper and which is the vinyl. So now we have our stencil, and I just want to center it on this little board. Okay, I think that's it. And I just want to burnish it down really good. Pam, the tags aren't on yet. I've ordered some. These are some that I picked up at the Dollar Tree at Christmas time. And I've painted front and back on them. I sanded off the glitter that was on them and painted the front and back on them. Okay, and remember when you're separating the transfer paper, and it's called transfer paper because it allows us to transfer that vinyl without having to handle sticky vinyl. And I'm taking it off at a 45-degree angle because I don't want to pull up and off because it will pull your stencil right off. I've done raised stencils with these also. Okay. So again, I just want to gently be sure that all my little points of my stars are all firmly down. I'm just wiping my brush off here because I'm switching over to white. I'm using the Dixie Belle fluff. If you have cotton, that would be an excellent choice also, because the cotton is the whitest white. The fluff is the next white. So I'm going to offload so that I don't have a bunch of excess. And I'm going to pounce and make sure I get all the points of those stars done. So did anybody else have any requests for craft projects of what you would like to learn? I have some really cool stamps and transfers, the molds. Of course, you guys see me decoupage a lot. I did a really cool cowboy piece yesterday, and when I got up this morning, he is perfect. No wrinkles or anything. It's always so fun to see, you know, because your paper has elasticity to it, and you might think you've got wrinkles on it, but when it dries, those wrinkles go away. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining us. And so when I got up this morning, that he was a beautiful, handsome cowboy. And on the other nightstand is going to be his partner in crime, the cowgirl. How you doing, Kathy? Thanks for joining us. Pam, this would be a cool project to do with your grandkids. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Robin. I don't think I saw you till now. Thanks, Tammy. He is pretty handsome. And that's going to be a really fun set. I think he will sell that set, not just him. I think that set will sell pretty fast. When you do pieces that are really different and unique like that, they usually do go pretty quick. I've had a lot of fun decorating my front porch this year for 4th of July. And you know, honestly, it's not just for 4th of July, because you can leave all of this stuff out on your front porch for Memorial Day, Labor Day. I'm going to give this a quick dry. Flag Day. Of course, the 4th of July. Did I say Labor Day? When you're using a heat gun like that, you don't want to get it too hot because you don't want to lift up that vinyl. So I'm just going over it to give it a second pouncing. Make sure we have plenty of coverage because we want those stars to really pop. So we've got Bunker Hill Blue underneath this one, and on the other one, on the 1776, we used In the Navy Blue. And I'm offloading in the middle so I don't have a big blob of paint go somewhere where I don't want it. So you guys, I got back on my keto diet. I've been off for 8 months and put on a whole bunch of weight and haven't been feeling good. So I'm on day 3 today of being on keto again. Just a little trivia there. I did really good for 3 years, and then with the Pinners Conference and then COVID, it was real easy to get off. And I'm just pouncing on this, and the reason for that is we have all of those points, and I don't want to be wiping the brush across all of those points and possibly lifting one. I'm really glad I bought a bunch of these when I saw them at the Dollar Tree because they're really fun little project pieces. You could do something special for every single holiday. And I think, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but it's getting harder and harder to find wood at the hardware stores. I'm surprised that Dollar Tree is still able to get all of these cool little wood pieces, because I picked up some more pieces when I was there last week just for doing signs and stuff. I just paint over whatever they have on there. They're just providing the canvas for $1. This is the last star. Hi, Evangeline. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I'm going to give it a quick little dry. Just like I said, I like to remove the stencils while the paint is still damp. I don't want it wet. I like it damp. Since we've got a little edge over here, that's where we'll start with it. No, Sherry, these are adhesive stencils, and they are one time only. But they're so great to use because you don't have any seepage leaking under. Look how crisp and pretty those stars are. What do you guys think? Isn't that awesome? I think that's really pretty. And then we've got the 1776. We got one more to do, you guys. What do you think so far? If you like it, give me some hearts. I think this is a cool little project. I love anything that's patriotic, honestly, I do. Been that way my whole life. Okay, so now we're gonna do our last one. And this is the one that I demonstrated to you guys what I started with, and on the others, they're all painted on the back side. And when we're all done today, I'll paint this back side also. But this last one is going to be the flag. And it's just going to be red and white. So I'm going to, let's see. I'm just wiping off this brush, and I'm going to do a large section just with the white. And I just have the tips, and it's really good to use these chip brushes for this kind of a project. And then I'm just wiping it off a little bit because I don't want a big gob of paint on here. It's better to build up the layers. And so I'm just going to go back and forth on it. Put a little paint on. This is like dry brushing. So you want to, if you've got too much on, you want to wipe it back off. Hi, Thelma. Thanks for joining us. We're on the last piece of our tags. This will be our red and white stripes. So I'm just dry brushing the white on. And we don't care if we've got more white in other places, and because this needs to look like it's been outside. Okay, I like how that looks. And I'm going to give it a quick little dry. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you on here. Did you finish your chair? I don't know if you heard me, Mary. Did you finish your chair? Okay, you guys, this is the fun part. I'm going to use, I haven't opened this one in a long time. It's all painted, just sealing it now. Good girl. All right, this is at least a couple of years old. This little jar of Barn Red. It's a little thick. And you can always water your paint down. And if you're painting furniture, you always use a spray bottle. I'm thinking I might want to use this brush instead. Let me try that one. This is a stiff brush. This is an artist brush. But it's squared off tips, and I think it might work better for the stripes on this. So I'm going to put a stripe on the edge. Starting on the edge like that will make it easier to space them. So I'm putting paint on my brush and then wiping it right back off again. And these don't have to be perfect. We don't want them to look perfect. We just want to give you the impression of this cool flag. And if you guys want the stencils to do this, send me a text message. Don't do it, well, I guess it's okay to do it through Messenger. It's just hard for me to keep track of things in Messenger, and with a text I do a better job of it. And if you want a set of these stencils, and if you've already got tags, or you know what size your tags are going to be, and I need to change the size of these stencils to accommodate that, let me know. And the stencils are $5 for the 2 stencils, $5 total. So I'm going to give this a quick little spot of heat. And this is Barn Red, in case you guys are interested. So Mary, I keep getting conflicting information on the fire up there. Some people said it was better today, and then other reports I heard or read said no, it was still a seriously burning fire. We had rain down here in the valley, and I hear you guys had some, but not a whole lot. Look how cool this is. I really love this. This will be out there with my vignette on my own front porch. Very cool. Sometimes these jar lids are hard to close back up again. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to put a clean paper down here so we have a clean slate. Stick all my brushes in the water over here. Give that a quick dry. Well, I'm glad you're getting a light rain. Just hope you don't get any thunder to go with it. Okay, you guys, so just keep in mind, you can tie these off with raffia or ribbon, whatever you have on hand and whatever you think will look the best. But I think this is really cool. My holes are kind of small, so I'm thinking I'll probably just use the twine. And these are real rustic looking, so, or I could use a twine and then tie some ribbon around the top. So what do you guys think? Maybe I should turn it around this way. Whoop, whoop. I think it's pretty awesome. I think it was a really fun little project. I hope you guys did too. Turn my camera back up. So I keep getting a million messages from my daughter and my friend Pamela up there in Overguard. They said it's raining. Okay, thanks Evangeline. Thanks Mary. Thanks Mike. Tammy. Well, I'm glad you guys like it. I think it was a fun little project. And I really like these tags, and these, if you come across them, they are just fun for all kinds of different holidays. And if you got kids you need to keep busy, this is a fun project for them. Like I said, if you guys want to order a stencil, let me know what size tag you need for your stencil. Got all this wild hair. Because I can customize these. So if you find tags that are bigger, and you need your stencil bigger, I can do that. If you have a smaller tag and you need them smaller, just let me know. And they're just $5 for a stencil for the stars and for the 1776. And if you enjoyed this video, if you think anybody else would enjoy it, please give it a share. And thanks so much, you guys. I appreciate it. I'm really having fun with these Wednesday crafting. Crafting is something I can actually almost always get done. And furniture goes into rotation, and it can take weeks for me to get it all done. So this crafting is good for me too. So you guys, thanks so much, and have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll do it again next Tuesday. Bye.